Hello everybody and welcome to our video on how to read a race card. Here at Racing Central we understand how tricky the sport of horse racing can be to the newcomer. The jargon makes no sense and the race card can be very intimidating when you first look at it. So we're going to break it down piece by piece, letter by letter, so next time you're at the course or next time you're trying to pick out a bet, you know where to start. So the first thing we'll see is the race's name and the race's class. This race is called the Thanks and Good Luck Joe Tuffin Fillies Handicap Stakes. You can guess why I've picked it, and it's a Class 4 race. The way the class system works is very simple. You've got Class 7, Class 6, Class 5. These are usually contested by the worst rated horses, although Class 7 races are very rare. You've got Class 4, which is what this is, Class 3 and Class 2, and you'll see these about day to day. These are quite common. And then you've got Class 1, and these are the best races, but these are further split into 4 categories of listed, Grade 3, Grade 2, Grade 1, or Group instead of Grade if you're on the flat. And these are the top level races, so Group 1 or Grade 1 will be your Epsom Derbies and your Gold Cups, etc. The next 3 bits of information are the easiest to understand. It's the horse's colour or silks, the horse's number and the horse's name. Now it's very important you remember the silks and the number, especially if they've got those coloured silks, because you will not be able to pronounce the name. The IRE next to the name indicates that it was bred in Ireland, and the 26 next to that indicates how long it was since it last had a run. The following bit is probably the most important part of it all, and that's the horse's form. So here we have Quicksand, who's finished 3rd, 1st, 4th, then there was a New Year, and then 3rd again. Sometimes you'll see letters in these. Those letters can either be P for pulled up, F for fell, U for unseated, B for brought down, or more rare, S for slipped up, D for disqualified, O for ran out, R for refused to race, and V for avoid race. The horse's age comes next, that's very self-explanatory, followed by the horse's weight in stone and pounds, and the horse's draw. The draw is very important to note if you are betting on the flat, as some courses have a draw bias at Beverley, for example, and Chester, which is basically a giant circle, and you can see why it would make more sense to be drawn here rather than it would be here in the River Dee. If you're at a jumps meeting or if you're having a bet on a jumps meeting, you won't see this number as they don't use stalls in jumps racing. The next things you'll see are some little letters underneath the horse's number. In this case it's a C and a H and an F. The C and the H indicate the horse's colour. Here it's a chestnut, but if it was a B and an R it would be black. If it was B it would be a bay. If it was a G and an R it would be a grey. And on very rare occasions you might get a white horse, which is indicated by a WH. The F indicates the horse's sex, so in this case it's a filly, but if it was a C it would be a colt, if it was an M it would be a mare, if it was a G it would be a gelding, and if it was a stallion it would be indicated by, of course, a H. We then see the horse's sire and dam, or dad and mum. In this case, Footsteps in the Sand was the sire and Miss Bellbird was the dam. Followed by the jockey and sometimes a photo if you buy the race card on course, the owner and the breeder, the trainer and the sponsor. There will then usually be a write-up of the horse. If you are on course and you don't really know what to look for, it's best just to look at this and have a read, and it will point you in the right direction. Looking at the rest of the race card, we can see that Miss Latin's jockey has a little 5 next to his name. What that means is that he is taking £5 off the horse's weight. You'll get this if you're an apprentice jockey. You get £7 until you've won 20 races, £5 until you've won 50, and then £3 until you've won 95 races. On the jumps, you're called a conditional, and you get £10 if you've rode less than 5 winners, and so on and so forth. This helps to even out the field more, as the horses with the less experienced jockeys on will be carrying less weight. Sometimes you might hear people say things such as their value for their claim, they're a steal of £3, or if you're a Twitter tipster, this lad will be the next AP McCoy. You might occasionally see next to the form line a variation of 4 different letters. These are C and D, or C and D together, or a B and an F. A C and a D means course and distance winner, and a B and an F means beaten favourite. You'll then also see their rating. This can either be indicated by OR or BHA. Here, for example, Defi de Soy was rated 163 coming into this race, which he won. He then went up to 166 for the Clarence House, which he won. So then went into the champion chase in March off a mark of 170, putting him as one of the highest rated horses in the country. If you compare that to this horse from the early 2000s, for example, this one never achieved a rating higher than 20, having done absolutely nothing useful with its career. You might hear these horses referred to as donkeys, cart horses, hopeless, or, if you are some unnamed trainers, handicap plots. You may also see lowercase letters like this P, for example, but you could also have H, B, HTV or HT. These are pacifiers which are used to calm a horse down and focus them if they're a bit erratic. You may also see a little W, and this indicates a wind op, which is basically a little operation just to help them breathe a little bit. There'll be a little 1 next to it, which means it's their first run since having the operation, or a little 2. That's probably when you want to be getting on them. That's everything. I really hope we covered all the grounds of it. We'll be doing more videos such as this, covering the basics of racing to try and help people understand the sport a little more. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching.